A lot of people don't know this, but I actually got a tattoo with her ashes in the ink. Uh, so I mean that's something I did for her, like right off the bat. I found a really good tattoo artist, licensed tattoo artist, and that was willing to do the ashes for me, and I felt like that was a good way to memorialize her. I always have it on my arm, and it'll never go away. Another thing, I always bring her up in conversations with people. I got a lot of friends that knew her personally, and I feel like I bug them to death, or like I talk about her too much, but I don't feel that way. But I feel like, they may be like, he brings her up a lot, which I feel like is a good thing. And I hope they don't get aggravated with me for doing that. But, I always talk about her all the time. And, I talk about her with the girls and stuff like that. I always want to make sure that they know that, how much their mom loved them and cared for them and, did right by them. But it's one thing. I just talk about her all the time. Everything just happened so fast. It's like we found out, she had the original tumor back in it was late 2022, and she had it removed, and then it came back early, 2023, and then pretty much 2023 she fought, until December. And it's just everything happened so fast. She was the sweetest girl, and like she's just super outgoing, and I don't see why, something like that had to happen to her. And, she's got two beautiful children, and, she should be here raising them. Right now, we are still in the midst of trying to figure something out. The weather's supposed to be bad coming Monday. So we're going to try and work around that and try and figure something out. But we definitely are going to, get together and do something for it. We're just not going to let the day go by. But, we're going to try and make the best of the day and try not to, be depressed all solo and alone. So we're going to try and get together and figure something out and do something good for it. More than likely it's going to be me, Justin, June, Kaitlyn, and hopefully Pumpkin and Jessica, maybe Cheyenne, and then we'll come over and stuff too. But just us as a family. Michael and London recently, they got married and then they moved to Alabama. So now it's like it's going to be a little bit more difficult to see Kylee. See, Kaitlyn's right down the road, so I get to see her, every single day. June and Justin let me see her anytime I want. I pick her up from school from time to time, and we go out and do things. We actually went to the movies last night and hung out. But, for Kylee, it's just, like I said, it's just hard to see her. I FaceTime with her. She's got an iPad and everything, so I do get to FaceTime with her and text with her and talk to her in those kind of ways. Which, Kylie's birthday's coming up on December 9th, the same day that Anna passed away, which is another, it's just crazy thing. But not this coming up weekend, but the weekend of December 13th, I'm going to go to Alabama and see Kylee and celebrate with her for her birthday.
Are the girls able to see each other?
They were able to see each other, before he moved to Alabama. June will let Kaitlyn go over there and hang out with Kylee and stuff like that. But, since he moved to Alabama, it's going to be hard to work around those kind of schedules. And I have to say, Justin and June have been amazing, like, through this whole thing. They've been awesome to me. They've been there for me, and I just want to just get that out there that they're doing what's right, and they've just been awesome this whole time. They've definitely been getting the stuff she needs. They've been getting her to and from school, staying on track with her grades, making sure she has, supplies and stuff she needs, clothes and stuff like that, and they're just doing, what parents should do, and they're just doing an awesome job at it.
It seems like they reunited after Anna's diagnosis kind of became a thing.
I feel like that was I feel it was really a blessing in disguise for her, like, for them to be able to reconnect. And, Anna knows that June was there for her, and June and Justin did a lot, when it came to being there for her, when it came to the chemo treatments or the radiation treatments, and just being there for her at all. Because to be honest with you, June and Justin were the ones that was paying for the Airbnbs for them to be able to stay there all week long, so that she didn't have to suffer in a car ride back and forth from home to back to Atlanta. So they were the ones that was really financially supporting, most of that stuff. And my very first day at my new job, back when she first started chemo, her very first day of treatment was my very first day of work. And it was hard for me to be there for her first day, because obviously first day you're on your job, you don't want to miss it. So it was hard on me to do that. But as far as June and Justin or June and Anna reuniting, it was a good thing because June and Anna did have a good conversation, where basically you let everything that had been bothering me for all the years, just let it go. So everything has just was going good with them. And I think, Anna was at peace with everything. And, they had their peace, everything was good whenever Anna passed. I think her sobriety, it definitely made it possible, for her to be there and have her head on straight and make sure everything was good. But I'm really glad that they were able to come together and separate their differences and just, know that each, one another was there for each other. And there was a time, it was actually on her last treatment, Anna had called me and wanted me to come up there. She wasn't doing good, she just wanted me there. So I dropped everything I did, was doing, and I drove straight to Atlanta. And me and Anna had a deep conversation, and that conversation just kind of spooked me, just because how at peace she was with knowing what the end result was going to be. And I know that same night, Anna and June had a conversation. That's when they had their full-blown conversation about, they said they're at peace with everything, and they were at peace with everything. And I think Anna called me up there to basically say the peace with me, have our peace. And we had a deep conversation in the bedroom. And like I said, it was weird just because of how calm she was talking about certain things that would have freaked her out, months prior. And I don't know, it was a peaceful moment, but in the same sense, it spooked me a little. Pretty much, she didn't have her affairs in order and everything. So, it's just when stuff like that happens, basically that's when the law steps into place, and, and just you take those steps, that has to be taken if her words are not put on paper and signed and documented and everything. If anybody's going through a situation like this, it is very important to not wait last minute to do, certain things. That you definitely need to get your affairs in order and put it on paper, because you never know what's going to happen. Like I said, we never expected her to go as quick as she did. And, it's just good to go ahead and get everything in line just to be safe. And her thing with getting, all that stuff in order, she had a hard time of letting go of certain things. For example, when she lost the ability to drive, we were still paying her car note, for months on end after she lost the ability to drive, just because she worked so hard for that car that she didn't want to let it go. And I feel like that's the same thing as far as putting things on paper with the girls. She felt like she was basically signing her life away as soon as she put stuff on paper about where she wanted the girls to go. So that was just kind of one thing that kind of held her back from that, was that she always felt like she, had a chance, of being here. So she felt like she was giving up if she put it on paper, which you shouldn't feel that way, and can't go back in time and tell her that, but, or make her feel a certain way. But, I feel like, things are going pretty good, being, that she didn't put stuff on paper, that things are going pretty well right now. I dream about her all the time. Sometimes it's a good dream, sometimes it's bad dreams. There was one night I had a bad dream, and it woke me up around 3:00 in the morning, and I was just laying in bed and I couldn't go to sleep after the dream, and all of a sudden my PlayStation cuts on by itself, and it kind of freaked me out. So I went up to the other bedroom and slept for the rest of the night, but it spooked me. But I do feel like, she's around, and sometimes you just get that feeling like she's right there by you. And sometimes I just picture her just maybe with a hand on my shoulder or something. But yeah, it's good feelings to know that, I believe in that kind of stuff. I know some people probably don't, but I do. I tell a lot of people I'm doing all right, but deep down, it's still super depressing. Just still dealing with grief. Even a year later, it still feels like yesterday, honestly. And it's taken a lot of getting used to being independent. Because I just been so used to, being with her for the amount of time I was for 7 years. And just going from that to nothing. And it's really hard. But, I'm just trying to make the best of it and stay busy. That's all I've been doing really, is just staying busy, working and just hanging out with friends, just finding something to do to keep my mind occupied. Because at the end of the day, like when it gets worse is just when I'm alone, like, at nighttime, especially, like, right before you go to sleep. That's just when it hits you the worst.
So special to be able to marry her even in the middle of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's something that I always wanted. I always wanted, marriage. That was the end result with her, was I wanted to marry her, and I'm extremely grateful that that was able to happen, thanks to her sisters and her mom and all them. They put that together, and I'm just extremely grateful for them. Because she always told me, because it was maybe like year 3 or year 4, and she was always saying, like, if we can make it past 5 years, then I'll consider it. Because apparently, like, she had this thing about 5 years, and she apparently had bad luck. It wouldn't nothing would ever last past 5 years, and we made it to 7, and I'm grateful for that, and I'm really happy that she decided to marry me. It made me feel great. It and a lot of people say that, oh, like, marriage is just a piece of paper, but it really does change everything. Like, it really does make the relationship feel way more special. It makes you, it changes your whole personality, whole sense. Like, it makes you engaged more in the relationship, I feel like.